This video is going to show you how to create the engineering drawings of your puzzle parts. In order to do this, you're going to need to have all of your parts modeled already. So you can see down here on my demo, I have all of different tabs for each one of my parts. I've created this drawing already, and I'm going to show you how to go through the process of taking your parts as models and bringing them into this template that we're going to have and create the 3-view drawing with your 4th view as an isometric 3D view. Starting off, we'll go down to the plus, and you come up here to create drawing. This window will open up. It wants to use a template. You need to go to the shared with me section because I've shared the GHS templates with you. I can't share them with myself, so what you're going to see is something along the lines of this as it retrieves it. You'll see a listing. It says GHS A template, GHS B template, GHS metric A, and GHS metric B. For this one, we're going to use A. The B template is a larger piece of paper. We don't need that for this particular drawing. That's for another assignment later on. And then the metric ones are obviously in the metric unit. So we'll just do GHS A, and we hit OK. Once it loads, you'll see you have the template down here at the bottom. All of this information we'll edit here at the very end. We'll go through and how to fill that in. Brings up, wants to know what part or assembly that you want to insert. And so I'm going to start with the red piece this time. So I'm going to click on the red piece, and click on that. And it will show me where do I want my first view, and this is my front view. So the front view is going to be in the lower left corner of the drawing, so I'm going to pick right about there. And then I'm going to place my top view directly above it. And then it wants to know what else I want to do. So when it has this cursor, so I'm going to select the front view, and I'm going to take and create the right side view. And then I'm going to select the front view again, and I'm going to bring it up here in the corner, and that's going to create a 3-dimensional view of my object. Once I'm finished with that, I can hit the escape key, and I'm out of that. These views are what you would see on the view cube. So if I switch really quickly to the red piece, you can see that my front view is referencing this view here. My top view would reference that, back, right side. Now it's kind of wonky because I'm orbiting. If I wanted to, I can just click on the right side. So you can see that the right side, when we go back to my drawing, is the same right side. It's just not shaded. So this is how a 3-view drawing will be laid out always. It doesn't matter if I move this over a little bit, it's automatically going to realign my other views for me. I want to space them a little bit because later on when we add dimensions, we need space for those dimensions, although you can always respace them really easily if it starts to get crowded. The other thing we have to do is we have to enable hidden lines. There's no real hidden lines on either one of these 2 views here, but there is a hidden line on there. But it's always good practice to show hidden lines, just tell it to show the hidden lines on each view, because there may be some hidden lines that you weren't aware of. We only worry about that on these 3 2-dimensional views. For the 4th view, the isometric view, we're going to right click on that, and we're going to tell it that we want to show the shaded view. And that gives us a color version of that view. That gives a good idea of what this object would actually look like. Once you have your 3 views there, the last thing to do is double check that your front view that you have is the best front view according to the three rules of front views. First off, does it have the longest dimension? In this case, yes, it does. Second, does it show the best detail or most detail? And you can see realistically it's probably as good as it's going to get. And then lastly, does it have the fewest number of hidden lines in all of the views? And of course we only have 1. And looking at this object, I know from experience that that's probably the best you can get. In order for you to figure that out, what you might want to do is change the orientation. So to do that, it's pretty simple. You right click on the view and you say view orientation, and you just choose a different view. You choose one that you think might be better. So maybe using the top view as the front view might work out better. So you say top and then give it a second, and the program will reorient all 4 views for you. And you can see by saying that that's the front view now, my top view has added a hidden line for this surface here. And then my right side view still has a hidden line because of the surface that's back there. So that's not really a great view. I can right click on it again and change it, and I don't know, maybe we'll try the bottom and see what that looks like. Again, the program automatically updates this for you. As far as the three-dimensional view up here, we really don't care all that much about what its orientation is, so it's not a big issue if it kind of gets sort of weird. But in this case, again, I have a front view, or I have a hidden line here, I have a hidden line here, so I'm not gaining anything by changing it. You can go ahead and check all of the views that you want and see if you can figure out a better one. I'm going to go ahead and put this back to the front view that was already there. At this point, you'll see the views have kind of moved a little bit, so you might want to move them back where you want them. Now we're ready to go ahead and fill in the information on our title block. It's pretty straightforward. It'll pull up the information from the drawn, that's who you are, who drew this. That's off of your account, so whatever you have up here, so hopefully you have your proper name. The date's auto-generated. Teacher, you put my name in there. Period, whatever period number. Class, just put IED, because that's the class you're in. Project name, change that to Puzzle Cube, so you can just double click on this guy in here, and there's actually some stuff in there that you can delete, and you just say Puzzle Cube and hit the check mark. Don't hit enter, or it'll do actually a carriage return. We're not going to worry about weight or scale at this point because the scale is already correct. Drawing 1, this is actually auto-generated off this tab, so I'm going to right click on the tab and I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to rename the tab Red Piece because that's the name. That's the piece that I'm doing. And you'll see it reloads the whole thing, so it might take a second. Once it's reloaded, you'll see that it has the name of the tab now in the drawing name. At this point, you're as far as you really need to go for creating your engineering drawing of this particular piece. You would do the same thing for each additional piece, and then you'll also do the same thing for your assembly. But for your assembly, all you have to do is create one view that is an isometric view. And later on down the road, I will go ahead and show you what we're going to do with this view, because we're actually going to create what we call a bill of materials and a parts list with it. And so I'll show you how to create that when we do dimensions and annotations. And that's how you create your engineering drawings.